sorry about that. Amanda had some sort of a technical glitch that we needed to get squared away. So I'm going to backtrack just a little bit. I know you heard the summary statement. Um, I know you heard the closing questions. Let's start off with the closing questions here, in that there's all kinds of ways to ask closing questions, and the ones that I was the most comfortable with were always the low key. Uh, so it sounds like you're really excited about doing this. How soon can I get the kit of supplies in here? It sounds like the kids are really excited. We've got a summer camp that we do every summer. That is, if you're a customer, we can get your kids into that summer camp. What do you think? Or it's just something like that. If I was talking to a principal, I would just talk about how, go through everything and saving them time, energy, and money. So you can see on page 28, I wrote some sample questions where when somebody gets excited, if they get excited about what they're talking to you, there is nothing, absolutely nothing that says you have to continue with your presentation. If they're ready to jump and you've only done 2 or 3 points and you've got 5 or 6 to go, and they're getting totally pumped up about this, stop right there and say, man, it sounds like you're really getting excited about this. Should we go ahead and we can get the credit card application, we can get the credit card form filled out, and then we can continue the discussion? I mean, it sounds like you're really ready to go here. What do you think? And if they say yes, you just stop and do the paperwork to get them signed up, and then come back to your presentation. That's called post-selling. So you can see some of the questions the way I wrote them, but again, that's my style. That's my art form to apply it to the science. All right. Now, if you think things are slowing down, or you feel your client is no closer to making a decision for whatever the reason, you can step up the pressure a little bit, and you can say, we've gone round and round about some of these issues. Am I not explaining something right? Is there something that's holding you back? Let's talk about that so we can get it resolved and move forward. And Jose will tell you, especially in the travel business, a lot of these deals, a lot of these presentations that you're putting up are time sensitive. They've got time periods attached to them on this discounted pricing. So you could say, we've been talking about this for a long time and pretty much covered everything. This is a time sensitive program because of the discounting that the tour company is offering. We need to make a decision one way or the other. How can we resolve this so that we can move forward? However that is, that's how you want to handle it. All right. Now that takes the form. What we're talking about here is on the right side, which is called stalls and objections. Now, when you talk to most salespeople, they're always talking about how they have to overcome objections. And overcoming an objection means I win, you lose. And that's not what this is about. An objection, second paragraph, an objection is a specific reason somebody gives you for not wanting to move forward. All right? It's that simple. And a stall is totally different. A stall is when somebody doesn't want to make a decision, or they want to postpone for whatever reason, but they might have a reason, but they're not going to share that with you. They might be working with another travel agent. It's happened to me all the time. A school that I was trying to get that was with another company would use me to get a price so that they could beat down my competitor, their current rep, so they could beat them down, and I never played that game. And I finally told the advisors, I said, look, you're just using me. I know you're loyal, I know you're happy, and you're just using me to get a better price out of your competitor. I'm not going to do that. So, and it was really interesting that they would not. It was just crazy. So, when they say I want to think about it, the first thing you want to do is say, I understand this is a big decision, but don't leave it at that. what you want to do is you want to say, it's a big decision. I'm here now. What is it that you think that you still need to think about? Maybe we can resolve this right now. And if they don't, then you can see some of the things that I wrote down. When you are considering this decision, can you share some of the things that you're thinking about? I know this is a big step. Can you tell me a little bit more about what your hesitations are? As long as you're there and in front of them, you've got a shot to still talk to them. Now, if they say, well, no, I got to check with my wife on this, or I've got to check with somebody else, that means you didn't do your people, time, and money questions correctly. Because remember, you need to get all of the decision makers so that you can make a proposal for each one of them and hand it to them. You don't want the person you're presenting to be your gatekeeper, because they're not going to present your program nearly as well to whoever it is that they need to talk to that you can, because they don't understand all the ins and outs and all the nuances and anything like that. So when this happens, there is a nice 4-step model. It's over on page 29. There's a nice 4-step model that you can do that will help you bring them back onto the page. Number 1, reduce the tension. Use your conversational circle. Use your feedback. Remember, you're constantly monitoring their telling tensions. Conversational circle is the best way to do that. All right. Reduce the tension by acknowledging their point, acknowledging they're moving away from you. So use the acknowledgement feedback. Number 2, gain a commitment to act. And this is where you use a hypothetical. If we can resolve these issues to your satisfaction, is there anything else that would keep us from moving forward? Remember, you are constantly finding out, is there anything else? Is there anything else? And you keep asking that question till they get a no. And I'll give you the worst objection I ever got was when I inherited. We had a guy in San Diego who only worked with the Navy, and he was really, really bad. He had the entire West Coast, and he got caught in some fraud, and the company fired him. They gave me the Washington. I got Bremerton and Everett naval stations, and one of the ships in Bremerton called me and said, you have been blackballed from working with the Navy. You and Walsworth Publishing have been blackballed from the Navy, and we want you over here on our ship at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And I said, I will be there. When I got there, I met with the XO of the ship, the number 2 guy. I met with the cruise book director, who was a senior chief petty officer. I mean, an EA, a big guy, and some of the guys that worked on the book. And I sat there for 2 hours taking notes on everything that this other guy had screwed up. And I'm looking at all these guys, and I go, okay, guys, I'm brand new to this. I've got all of your concerns. Let me talk to the company, but let me ask you this. If I can get every single one of these things that you have given to me, if I can get them corrected and made right, will you give me a shot at your next cruise book? And they all looked at me like I had rocks in my head. Says, there's no way you can do this. I got on the phone. 2 days later, I called them back and I said, I've got everything in place that you wanted. Can you meet with me this afternoon at 3 o'clock? And they go, yeah. I went over there. I fixed every single problem they had. And they, not only did they say they would do business with me, I had a contract ready to go, and they signed it right there on the spot. That's how you can resolve stuff. If you're diligent, listen to them. Remember, listening is the absolute key. So it's a hypothetical. If you can do this, will you give me a shot at your business? Okay. And that was number 4, ask for a decision. Once you get everything resolved creatively, you go to step 4, ask for the decision, which is exactly what I did. This comes under the nothing ventured, nothing gained part of being a sales rep. You've got to ask them. Always, always, always ask, because you've got nothing to lose. At this point, I had nothing to lose. I was either going to lose them forever, or I was going to, get them back. And not only did they sign with me, they gave me recommendations to the other ships in both the Bremerton and the Everett home ports. And the Everett home port was the USS Nimitz, which is an aircraft carrier with 4,400 people on board, which I got. So it just led to more and more and more stuff, simply because I listened. We fixed the problem on a timely basis, and that's the key. Fix the problem on a timely basis and then move forward. Okay, and that's really it. That's the sales course in a nutshell. So on page 29, let me leave you with a couple of things that I've been pounding with you on for these last 7 weeks. 3 key points. Number 1, do I have enough information to make an intelligent presentation? Yes or no? If you don't, you've missed something. Number 2, because of that question, when you obtain limited information, you have limited success. And number 3, and this is one of the most crucial parts, they are letting you be a part of their lives for a reason. All right? You have earned their trust up to this point. Just remember that, right? You are my yearbook schools were not schools, they were my family. And I was their family. And it was really fun whenever I walked into a school. It was like Norm on Cheers, Mike. So it was a lot of fun. So here's some final thoughts. Number 1, over on the right side of page 29. Once you've gained a commitment, stop selling. Because if you keep on selling and they've already agreed in their head, ask them to buy. Because if you don't, a lot of sales get lost when a sales rep continues, and then all of a sudden something happens and red flags go up. So once you've got them, sign them, get them, okay? Because number 2, once you've got them on the dotted line, now you can do what's called post-selling. You can do presentation, you can get into travel insurance, visas, passports, all of that kind of stuff. Number 3, and I want you to circle this, put a star on it, tape it to your forehead, because this is on the test. And I get so ticked when people miss this. Listening is the single biggest asset that you bring to the selling process. There is nothing even remotely close. Listening is what we are to do when we're selling. 4, and I beat you up on this every week, continually summarize what you know. And then 5, gain agreement on what you've summarized and what you've asked them for. And that's it. So you see down here a picture of Mom and Dad in 1966 when they opened up a little hole-in-the-wall travel agency in Glendale, California. So again, if you are not doing these 5 golden minutes, you're missing a big opportunity to really, really improve your selling skills, which is what this is designed to do. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? What did I miss? Did I get a referral? This is where you ask for referrals, right here at the end of your sale. And then especially at the end of the sale, I would not, when you're all done with the process, whether you get them or whether you don't get them, I would send them a written thank you note. It kind of brings to a conclusion of everything that you've been doing. Did you send them a thank you note? Again, never ever in this lifetime do you leave the timing of any decision up to the client. It's the single biggest reason you will lose a sale, is letting them dictate when you speak with each other. All right, so what you have here is these are your 17 new selling skills. And are you going to use them all? At one point you will, yes. Are you going to use them all in the same selling situation? Probably not, but they're here for you. Because I'm an archer, I liken them to arrows in my quiver. I pull out the specific arrow I need, for the specific task that's in front of me. So if you think of yourself as an archer and you've got a quiver of arrows, these are your arrows right here, your 17 new selling skills. Okay, so now this, my wonderful people, is the certificate. So what is here is you apply for the test. I'll walk you through. So what you want to do is you want to send me an email telling me that you've completed the course, you've watched the videos, and you've read the manual, and I will send you a 40-question test. It takes 80% to pass, and so you got to get 32 out of the 40 questions right. And then what I will do is send you a certificate along with 2 logos. So the big logo is for like letterhead, websites, or not websites, letterhead, anything that has to be printed, because the little one doesn't, if you try to blow the little one up, it doesn't work very well. The little one is for your emails, your websites, anything that's web driven, use the little one. Anything that's print driven, use the big one. And I want to leave you with this. This is Ron, Steve, Mom, and Dad in 1991. And I just want to leave you with this. Sales is a relationship business, and it's been the guiding principle of Archer Travel Service since 1952. So we're closing in on 75 years of the Archer Travel business. Oh, here's how you become certified. Send me a request via email. I'll send you the Word. It's a Word document. So if you have Word, you can just open up that document and type your answers right on that. And then you can edit and send it back. It's open book and there's no time limit. All right. You'll get your test back, and I will put on the questions you missed, I will put my notes on what you missed and where you can find the correct answer. And then along, if you passed, in your certificate and the 2 logos. So that, my wonderful Eagle, is the conclusion of this class. Amanda, do we have any questions, comments, anything people are in the chat room that they like to talk about?
I don't see any comments at the moment, but like you said, they can reach out to you for the exam or if they have any questions, right?
That's it. And I'm happy to talk to them.
Perfect.
All right, guys. Have a great Thanksgiving and a great Christmas season in all of their original tints of giving thanks to our Lord, our Creator, and our Maker. I love you guys. If you have any questions, get a hold of me. See you later.